Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today, doing a different video than we usually do. I know Fridays are usually the best and worst series, but then this image came up, and I think we just gotta talk about it, you know what I mean? But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about our comment of the day. Comment of the day goes out to one of the comments that was in a previous video. This one goes out to Admiral Yamamoto, looking at you there. So annoying that I missed out on one of the shakedown trials, which means I can't get the Massachusetts. Yeah, no, I feel you, dude. I feel you. I missed out when I started playing this game, like, casually. I missed out on so many ships. I'd buy the Admiral backing, didn't realize what week I was in, and then just completely lose out on doing the ships and be like, why can't I get it? Oh, because I didn't do all the challenges. Yeah, I'm looking at you, John Bart. Just missed out on her. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this image. Carriers are coming, and given the way that Wargaming has put this out, I think it means at the end of, probably on Tuesday, we're going to get details on this. Monday or Tuesday night, I think there's going to be a blog post about details going to carriers. Next update will feature some sort of carrier test. As we can see in that image, it is the Japanese Ryuju aircraft carrier, so I'm going to assume we are going to be getting the American carriers and the Japanese carriers. I don't know what that's going to mean gameplay wise. I'm here to have an open heart. I know the community, a lot of people have said that they left World of Warships regular to come to Legends just because we didn't have carriers, and carriers have been a menace over in that game. I haven't played WoW Vanilla, or whatever we want to call it, the original. This is my only experience with WoW, and I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt for now. I think this does run the risk of why a lot of people hate, like, artillery in World of Tanks. It's because the interaction won't feel like it's there. With this game right now, everything is line of sight, and everything, you feel the interaction between each ship. You see the ship that's shooting you. You could shoot it back, you know, depending on what your strategy is, what you want to do. There's all the attacks come line of sight. When you lose line of sight, that's when things start feeling bad for one player or another, because they feel like they don't have any power to return damage, and that turns them off. And I'm hoping that's not what's going to happen with this game, but only time will tell. We have to remember, historically, it's kind of how this is kind of how the real world works. You know, the naval powers built up large ships, large battleships, large cruisers, thinking they were the preeminent ability and fighting power in the sea. And then carriers came around, and naval doctrine completely changed, and aircraft carriers completely changed the game as far as, historically speaking, what naval combat is and naval aviation. So, like, are we going to see a real-life version of that in this game? Maybe. I hope not. I think one thing that, from what I can tell, is going to be different for us than from the PC is we have much smaller maps. So it will be harder for those things to hide. Like, you know, you have heard the complaints. I know, at least I've read the complaints of when you're in a tier 7 game and the battleship gets spotted instantly and they're already taking fire from spawn. Well, guess what? A carrier may be able to be started to be attacked from spawn if it really is that dangerous of a tool for the enemy player. We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, I want to give the benefit of doubt to Wargaming because they are the developers, and hopefully they understand what is best for their game. The good news is this is probably going to be a test, much like the legendary ships are right now. Last year we had the legendary test in this time frame / window, and I think that's what this is serving now. And if you think about it, beyond this last update, when was the last time you really saw legendary ships out in force in affecting the game? You could completely avoid them if you like to play in the tier 5s and tier 6s, and then even then you would go into a tier 7 game and there'd be 1 or 2 of them. Well, maybe we only have 1 carrier for each team. That's the other thing, is the balance, right? It's gonna be weird with balance and AA. Like, there are a lot of factors that are going to be coming into this. I'm looking forward to what I assume will be Monday or Tuesday, because generally Wargaming will release some sort of blog post a week before the new updates come, which, if we're keeping everything in track and in time, would be in the next... Oh, wait, no, we have 2 weeks. Crap. in 2 weeks from now, or no, it would be a week. It would be a week. Yeah, in a week after, once the Massachusetts campaign wraps up, we would then be getting that update, and we would be able to read it over and kind of see how it is. It's a test. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best. I really do, just because I think carriers could be fun. Like, if we think about it, carriers, they're going to have lots of AA and lots of secondaries. It explains why they've been kind of focusing on secondaries this past build, or this past update, just because they need to get those up to snuff to make aircraft carriers somewhat viable as a ship and something that can defend themselves so that they're not an open target. But I think Wargame's going to have to find and walk the very tight line between overpowered and completely useless. And we're just going to have to see. It's a very hard line to walk, especially when you're dealing with a weapon that is going to be that sort of indirect fire, because that's when things don't feel good to other players as far as gameplay goes. When they can't directly counter something because they can't see it, that's when people have issues. Like, there have been a decent number of games that I've been in the community of when developers have introduced something that you can't counter, or is something that affects you without having a direct play, and it's always made the player base feel bad. Like Battlefield 4 in the UCAV, or Lion and Rainbow Six Siege, both of those completely kind of changed the game and changed the meta of the game, because they were one player affecting other players without you being able to directly affect them back. UCAV, if you didn't know, was a remote control, essentially kamikaze drone that support players could fire in Battlefield 4. And you can imagine if you're just playing around and then all of a sudden just something falls out of the sky and kills you. Not exactly the best gameplay element. And as far as Rainbow Six goes, Lion, he was an operator where he could hit a button, and if you moved, it revealed your position like in a 3D spot sort of way through the entire map for a good number of seconds. And of course in Rainbow Six Siege, that's going to get you wall banged. So it was not fun whatsoever for either of those things. And Rainbow Six Siege, I think successfully, both of them had their own ways of modifying and moderating it and making changes to it. And I'm just hoping that World of Warships is willing to be able to make changes. I think we're going to be starting at the lower tiers, which in theory shouldn't be as effective of carriers, but who knows? Who knows? I'm going to wait patiently and see. Next Friday, we should be back to best and worst. This Monday, we're still going to try to do the Massachusetts review. Guys, those are what I got planned. I hope you liked this video. If you did, let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think of carriers? Are you excited? Are you hesitant? What's going on? My name's TommyBoy601. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.